Welcome to class. I'm Kate. I'm an English teacher here on Verbling from the United States. And today's class will be about the third conditional. So with some of you, I've already talked about the first and second conditionals, and today we're doing the third. And so this is one of many classes available on Verbling, right? We actually offer classes 24 hours a day. So wherever you are in the world, you can take classes at a convenient time for you. All of our teachers are native speakers, and so I'm an English teacher, but if you're interested, you can take French, Spanish, whatever, with other teachers from across the world. And if you don't know how Verbling works, if you're interested, you can watch the classes, as you probably are doing now, for free. And then if you want to participate in them, that's when you'll end up paying, a few dollars, and you can participate. All right, so we're having some students arrive. Hi, I'm Kate. Vitaly?
Hi, teacher.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
And
How do
you?
you pronounce your name?
Sorry, pardon?
How do you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Is it Vitaly?
Yes, Vitaly. Yes.
Vitaly. Okay, nice to meet you. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Kazakhstan.
From Kazakhstan. Okay,
Yeah. Yes.
great. And how long have you been studying English?
About year and 6 months.
Okay, so around a year and a half. Very cool.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you here. Allah, hello again.
Hello, Caitlin. How are you?
Doing well. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Okay. And Elena?
Hello?
Hi. Is it Elena or
Yes.
Elena, please?
No,
Elena.
it's Elena.
Okay, great. Hi. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Spain.
From Spain. Okay. Cool. What part of Spain do you live in?
Burgos.
In Burgos.
Uh,
Okay.
yes, in the middle north,
In
central north of Spain.
I actually live in Barcelona. I'm an English teacher here.
Yes, well, I live in Aranda del Duero. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, it's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
And hello, Hussein.
Hello, Kathleen.
How are
Hello.
you doing? Hi.
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Great. Okay. So we're still waiting on a few people, but as you know, today we'll be talking about the third conditional, right? And with some of you, we've gone over the first and second conditionals, and today we'll be talking about the third. So especially for Vitaly and Elena, since I haven't had you in class before, why don't you tell me what you know, or if you've studied the conditionals before, what you know, where you've studied them, just so I have an idea of your background.
Well, I think I know first and second conditions
Okay.
well, but in theoretically, because when I begin to speak, I do a lot of mistakes, but I think I know the basic knowledge about
Okay.
them.
Great. So maybe you understand the grammar, but it's an issue of putting it into practice.
Yes.
Okay. Great. And Michael and Jose, nice to see you.
Hey,
Hi. How are
Caitlin.
you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Good to see you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So I guess we can get started. So as I've said, and as some of you have seen in the video I posted, right? I've explained to some of you how the first and second conditionals work, right? Conditional sentences express different levels of probability or possibility. And someone tell me, what are the two parts of a conditional sentence?
If clause and main clause.
Excellent, Jose. The if clause and the main clause. Okay, So today we'll be talking about a specific type of conditional, which is the third conditional. Can anyone give me an example of a third conditional sentence?
If
I
I want,
One at a time, sorry. Jose?
I could say, if I had won the lottery, I would have traveled around the world.
Good, yeah. Good. If I had won the lottery, I would have traveled around the world. Okay? So this is, and this implies, okay, so let's look at the difference between a second conditional sentence and a third conditional sentence. Right? So with second conditional, we would say, if I won the lottery, I would travel. And I'm typing these in the verbling box. And so this I've covered with some of you, right? This implies a hypothetical situation. So, so it's something that I think is improbable. It's not likely to happen, but I'm telling you, if it did happen, this is what I would do. Whereas with the third conditional, the first sentence that I typed in the verbling box, we have we're talking about the past, right? We're saying I bought a lottery ticket in the past, but I did not win, right? So this is an unreal situation. I'm saying I did not win, but if I had won, this is what I would have done. Okay, so it can be a bit complicated, and so I want to just do a quick review of the third conditional and the other conditionals, but focusing on the grammar, and then we'll try to practice this and see if we can understand when it's used and why it's used. All right, and for Sergio, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, great.
Hi, Kathleen.
From
How are you?
Brazil?
Can you say again, please?
Are you from Brazil?
Yes, definitely.
Yes. Okay, I saw that from your picture. Okay, nice to see you. Okay, and who just joined us? Jordi? Jordi? Okay, well, if you can hear me, it's nice to have you here. I'm going to start to present the grammar. I'll share my screen with you, and feel free to ask me questions along the way. Okay. We'll go quickly through the other conditionals, and then we'll review the third conditional in more detail. All right. Okay, I'm trying to share my screen and it doesn't seem to be working. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, can everyone see this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. All right, so conditionals, as we've talked about, always have an if clause and a main clause, right? So an if clause and a main clause. With first conditional, again, I'm going to go quickly through the first and second conditional. With first conditional, in the if clause, we're using the present simple. Oops. And in the main clause, we're using the future simple. So can I have someone read these two examples?
Yes. If the weather is nice, we will go for a walk. If you don't apologize, she will never trust you again.
Right, okay.
If close, present simple.
And main clause, future simple. Excellent. Okay, so as you can see here in the if clause, present simple is, in the main clause, future simple. And again, as I've mentioned in other classes, we can also reverse the order, right? We can put the main clause first. And if you'll note, when we put the main clause first, there's no comma. Okay, and again, the first conditional expresses a possible or probable situation. Okay, any questions? Okay, I know this is review for some of you, so bear with me. Okay, second conditional. Oops. So second conditional, we're using the past tense in the if clause, right? And would plus the infinitive in the main clause. We're using a modal verb. Okay, so as we could with the first conditional, we can change the order and nothing happens, right? We could say, I would buy a big house if I had a lot of money. No problem. Okay, and when do we use the second conditional? For those of you, especially who have been in my second conditional class, when is this used?
Hypothetical situation.
Yeah, hypothetical situation. So here in this sentence, if I knew his number, I would phone him. Do I know his number?
No.
No, right? Do I have a way of finding out his number?
No.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it right now, right? Maybe I'm out, I don't have the internet, or I don't have a phone book, and so I'm saying, well, I don't know his number, but if I did know it, I would phone him, right? But since I do not, I can't. Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay, great. Now, finally, we're getting to the third conditional. Okay, so here's an example of a third conditional before we look at the grammar. Can someone read this? So here we have a scenario. Okay, and then here we have the conditional sentence. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, well, while this is loading, can someone read the scenario sentence for me?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Jack wanted to buy a house last year, but he couldn't do that because he didn't have any money.
Great, thank you. Okay, so this is the situation, right? So we have a guy who last year was thinking about buying a house, but in the end he was unable to buy the house. And so now, in the quotation, he's reflecting on this experience. So can someone read this third conditional sentence?
If I had a lot of money, I would have bought a big house.
Great. Okay, so he's saying, last year I did not have a lot of money, right? But if I had a lot of money, this is what I would have done. I would have bought a house. But it's in the past, and now it's over. So here it's kind of expressing a regret, something that he wishes had been different. Questions?
It's a hypothetical situation too, right, teacher, but with conditions.
So here it's not so much a hypothetical situation. It's more of a regret. Yeah, it's a hypothetical situation in the past, right?
In
So
the past,
here
okay.
you're looking at the past, right? You're talking about, so last year, if I had had a lot of money, which I didn't, I would have bought a house. So you're kind of talking about how you would, looking back at the past, you're talking about what you would have changed, right? If you could have gone back and changed something about the past.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to come back for a minute, and I'll just explain this to you because it seems as though PowerPoint has frozen. All right. So in that case, having looked at that example sentence, who can tell me what the structure of the third conditional is? So I'll write the example sentence.
Past perfect in the if clause.
Good. So if plus subject plus past perfect. Okay, and then in the main clause?
Post could, might,
Mm-hmm.
and past participle.
Yeah. What? would, could, might plus have or has, or sorry, plus have plus past participle. So so essentially plus the present perfect, right? I would have bought a house. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so would plus could plus might plus. All right, so here is the structure. Questions about this structure? I know it's a bit complicated. Okay, so can someone give me another example of a sentence in the third conditional?
For example, if I had seen your brother yesterday, I would have tell him that thing.
Okay, all right, so good, you're on the right track. So if I would have told him the news, right? So here we have if. I'm typing in the verbling box, by the way, not the chat box. So if plus subject plus the past perfect, which is had seen, and then a complement. And then in the main clause, we have the subject plus would, which is a modal verb, plus have, plus the past participle, and a complement. Okay, a good example. All right, and actually, let me show you. I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. It's working again. Okay, so here, again, in the if clause, past perfect simple. In the main clause, it's what they call a past conditional. We have would plus have plus a past participle. All right, and this is very important, and it talks about when we use the third conditional, right? It refers to the past, as we said, and it is not based on facts. It expresses, it expresses a situation which is contrary to reality in the past, right? So it's talking about another alternative, an alternative situation that could have happened in the past, but didn't. Questions? Okay. So let's look at the difference between second and third conditional. All right, can someone read this slide for me?
If I saw a car accident, I would call an ambulance.
Great.
But I don't see an accident now. This is unlikely to happen.
Right, so which conditional is this?
Sorry?
Which conditional is this? Is this second or third?
Second. This is the second condition.
Good. Okay, and the next one?
If I had seen a car accident, I would have called an ambulance. But I didn't see an accident yesterday. This is contrary to the fact in the past. That's the third conditional.
Excellent. Okay, so again, the difference is about time, as it says here. The second conditional is about a hypothetical situation in the present or the future, right? Often in the future. And in the third conditional, we're talking about the past, right? And so we don't really say that it's that the third conditional is used to describe hypothetical situations because we're talking about something that's simply impossible, right? It's not unlikely, it's impossible. It's talking about how you would change the past if you could. Questions? Okay. So, does everyone feel comfortable practicing? I think first we'll do some exercises to work on the third conditional and the formation of the third conditional, right? Because it can be tricky with all the haves and hads and whatever. And then we'll do some exercises where you have to choose between different types of conditionals, right? So you have to tell me if you need to use the second conditional, the third conditional, or even the first conditional. Okay, and I'm going to send you a Google Doc to look at. I'm going to post it in the Verbling box. Is this right? Okay, great. So here it is. Can everyone see this document?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Yes.
So, all right, so now we're just going to do some grammar practice, okay? And don't worry if you have trouble with any of the sentences, because sometimes it can be quite hard to form the third conditional. So, let's see. Who can I pick on first? David, it's nice to have you back.
Hi, Caitlin.
Hi. David, can you read the directions for the first exercise?
I have the sheet, teacher.
Sorry?
I have the sheet.
Ah, okay. Here, I'll share it in both chats. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see in Google Docs, but it's loading page.
It's loading. Okay, no problem. All right. Who has the page open? Anyone?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Me as well.
Can you read? Whoever has the page open, can you read the directions?
Okay. Third conditional, fill the gap using the verb in brackets. Think very carefully about the meaning of the phrase before deciding whether to use a negative or positive verb form.
Okay. So, all right. So we're just going to do this first exercise together because I want to go through it and comment on some things as we do it. So, who wants to try the first one? Who's brave?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
I wouldn't have been angry if you uh, had decided to go out with your friends.
Excellent. Okay. And I'm actually going to type the... Wait, how do I edit this?
You can't.
I can't.
Yeah.
Why? I created this file. Let's see. Really, I can't edit it?
There is edit on the top of it. Maybe you can do it. I don't know. I can't do that. Maybe.
That's bizarre. I don't know. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I'll type them in the Verbling chat box. I'll type the answers. Okay. So here, had decided. Number one, had decided. Okay. Great. Who can do number two?
Me.
Okay.
But can you share your screen because it's easy to follow the class?
Oh yeah, you want me to share my screen?
Yes, with the document.
Okay. Actually, I'll share my screen with this document. Hold on. With a Word document so I can type the answers as we go along. Okay, it's the same exercises.
Yes, it's
easier?
easy to follow the class
Okay.
that way. Thank you.
No problem. Number two.
Yes, if he had known you were in hospital, he would have visited you.
Good. Excellent. Right? If he had known you were in the hospital, He would have visited you. Okay? So here, for instance, did he know that you were in the hospital?
Yes. I learned it online.
Did he know you were in the hospital? No, right? He did not. And are we talking about the future or the past? The past.
So I
Okay, I'm
can
hearing a
hear.
lot of noise.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. All right.
Okay.
No problem. Number 3.
Me, teacher.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi. We wouldn't have come by taxi if we had found the right bus.
Right. So find is an irregular verb, and the past is found, and the past participle is also found. Right. So we wouldn't have come by taxi if we had found the right bus. And by the way, I've been typing the full form, right? Like you had decided, we had found, he would have visited. But you could also say, what? How can I make a contraction with you and had?
You'd decided.
Yeah, so if you decided to go out with your friends, right, like this. If you decided, ignore the has decided, to go out with your friends. And the same thing, if he'd have visited, he would have visited, and we'd found the right bus. Okay, and make sure you're asking questions if you have them as we go along. Don't be shy. Okay, who can do number 4?
Maybe I can do.
Okay.
We would have visited the Prado Gallery if we had had time.
Good. Okay, and so this looks very strange, right? To have had in English, but it's very common. There's no other way to do it. So it might look weird or strange, but don't worry, it's correct. If we had had time. All right, good. Number 5.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If you hadn't been asking me questions all the time, I would have enjoyed the film.
Great. I would have enjoyed the film, right? But in the past, so this is in the past, I would have enjoyed the film, but I did not, right? The film is over, and I did not enjoy it because you were asking me questions the whole time. Okay, number 6.
I, teacher.
Go ahead.
Number 6. If I had have your number, I would have found.
Okay, using the verb to know.
If I had have now had now your number, I would have found.
Okay, this one is irregular. It's if I had known.
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 So it's so to know. Just a note. In the present, know. In the past, knew.
Known.
The participle is had or have. No. Right?
No, no. Yes, no.
Irregular.
I agree.
Okay. Okay, good. So number 7. Number 7.
If just one person had remembered my birthday, I would have been sad.
Okay, close. You're missing one thing.
I wouldn't have been sad.
Good. right? And so why is it wouldn't and not would?
Because because nobody remembered his birthday, so he was sad
Uh-huh.
in the
Good.
past.
Yeah. So he was sad. So he's saying if this one person had remembered, right, he wouldn't have been sad. Good. Number 8.
Hi, teacher.
Go ahead.
I would have understood the film if it had was in Germany.
So using the third conditional,
Third conditional. No, it's second, right?
this one is third.
Third.
Yeah, because we have I would have understood. So if it had
Had
been.
had been, yes.
Okay, yeah, this one's tricky. So here, but okay, so this sentence, the way it is now, is said by a German speaker. How can we make this so it's said by an English speaker who does not speak German?
Yes.
How can we change the sentence to make it make sense as said by someone who speaks English but does not speak German? This is tricky. Any ideas?
If it hadn't been in German.
Yeah, right? Because we're saying
What are you doing?
wait, did someone mute me? All right, well, that makes it difficult to teach a class.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, to whoever just muted me, I'm very sorry if I've been bothering you. All right. Here, so the person saying this has just watched a film, but the film was in German, right? And he doesn't speak German. And so this is our problem, right? So he's saying, I didn't understand the movie, but I would have understood it if it hadn't been in German. Is that clear? Okay. Let's do a couple more. Let's do 2 more. So number 9.
They would have come to see you if they hadn't been away.
Good. They would have come to see you if they hadn't been away. Great. And number 10, the last one we'll do.
Yes, teacher. If she had parked on a double yellow line, she wouldn't have got a fine.
Okay, so let's imagine that parking on a double yellow line is illegal.
If she hadn't parked.
Yeah. If she hadn't parked on a double yellow line, she would have gotten a fine. Okay, any questions about this? All right. Now, I want you to look at this exercise. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay. Wait. Okay. So exercise 30. So I want you to look at this exercise. Here, you have to choose between different types of conditional, okay? And then at the end of the sentence, you have to put the type of conditional that it is, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. So in number 1, this is an example. We already have the answer. And can someone read this sentence, please?
If I had lots of money, I would sail around the world.
Good. Okay, so here it's second conditional, right? We're saying I don't have lots of money, but if I did, this is what? I would do. Okay, so can we just do a few of these, choosing between first, second, and third conditionals? Why doesn't everyone do this exercise on their own first, and then we will review it, okay? So I want you to answer questions number 2 to 10. So just write down the answers somewhere, right, and then we'll review it.
I put.
Yeah, on a notebook, or even if you want, you can. Sorry?
If my sister sees this puppy, she will love it. This is one conditional.
The first conditional. Okay, so should we just, okay, we can just do it together as a group. Okay, no problem. So yeah, the first conditional. If my sister sees this puppy, she will love it. Right? So what are the two tenses we use? In the if clause we have, what tense is sees?
Present.
Yeah, the present simple.
Present simple, yes.
And the main clause?
Future.
Future. Great. Okay, who can do number 3?
I will do it.
Go ahead.
Okay, number 3. If I had packed the suitcases myself, I wouldn't have left my swimsuit. Third conditional.
Third conditional. Excellent. Okay. So here, are we talking about the past or the future? In this sentence.
Past.
Past. Good. I know I'm being repetitive, but I want to reinforce this. It's very important. Okay. Number 4.
Hi, teacher. We cannot sit in the garden if the weather were nice. Second.
Not quite. Okay, that's correct that it's second conditional. Absolutely. Okay, so here in the if clause, we have a verb in the past, right? And so what do we use in the main clause in the second conditional?
Past. Simple past?
No, that's in the if clause. So here we already have the simple past were. Okay? But in the main clause, we actually use a modal verb, so would, could, should, plus the infinitive.
Oh, yes, infinitive.
So what would go here?
We can sit.
Okay, and now instead of can, when we're talking about in the past, we use
Could.
could. Perfect. We
could sit.
Perfect. Yeah.
In the garden.
If
in the garden if the weather were nice.
Were nicer. Perfect. Right? So is this clear to everyone? So here, instead of using would, like we often do, we're using a different modal verb. We're using could. All right. Number 5.
Could be.
Yes, go ahead.
So who can do number 5?
Teacher, could be bored if you had taken him to the opera. It's a third condition.
The third conditional. And how did you start it?
Could be.
Would.
Would? Not would. Could.
So for this one, it's better to use would. So if we have third conditional, let's review. So in the if clause, we have the past perfect, had taken. In the main clause, we have what?
Yes.
What do we use in the main clause? So we have if plus subject, past perfect.
Yes, and subject. Okay. Plus wouldn't, couldn't, might.
Would plus have plus participle.
Yeah.
Right? So here we have if plus subject plus had taken. And in the main clause, it's tricky because we have a question, but we need to have somewhere in there would have and a participle.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, so how can we, so what would you put here? Would?
Uh,
All right.
So would I? Would I? Would I? Yes,
here,
would I?
wait 1 second, this is tricky. So imagine we have this sentence. Fred would have. This sentence is the affirmative, right? It's the positive.
Would Fred? Would Fred?
Would Fred
have been bored?
Perfect. Would Fred have been bored if you had taken him
to the opera? Yes.
Perfect. Very good. Okay. Any questions about this?
Yes. Perhaps it would be better if you say, wouldn't Fred have been bored if you had taken him to the opera?
You can say that also. And this is more in spoken English. So here, okay, so this is different. If we say, would Fred have been bored if you had taken him to the opera? We're asking a question, right? We genuinely don't know. We say, wouldn't Fred have been bored? You're saying you think that Fred would have been bored, and you're asking for confirmation. So in this sentence, we're simply asking. We don't know, and we don't have an opinion about it. Whereas in this sentence, we already think one way. We think Fred would have been bored, but we want to ask for confirmation to make sure.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So it depends on what you mean. Okay. Let's do a few more. At least 6 and 7. So who can do number 6?
I will wait for you outside the cinema if I arrive early.
Great. And this is?
The first conditional.
First. Excellent. And let's do 7 and 8, and then we'll do some speaking.
Val and Cherry would move if they could find a better house.
Perfect. If they could find a better house. And this is?
Second condition.
Okay. And number 8?
I would have told him my name if he had asked.
And it's? First, second,
it's third condition.
Perfect. Okay. So here, he did not ask my name, right? We're talking about the past. He did not ask me my name. But in an alternate past, right, I'm imagining that if he had asked me my name, I would have told him. Okay, any questions?
No.
I'm going to come back on video. Okay, so thank you for bearing with that. I know that was a lot of grammar, okay? And so I really do want to have you practice using the third conditional. And to do that, we're going to look at some events that changed history. Okay, so I came up with some different events that changed history. Okay, and I want you to tell me. All right, so I typed them in the verbling box. All right, so Bell invented the telephone. Columbus discovered America. Hitler became the leader of Germany. The World Trade Center was destroyed. The 2004 earthquake hit the Indian Ocean. Leonardo da Vinci was born. John Logie Baird invented the TV. Okay, so I want you, using these or other famous events that you can think of, to make third conditional sentences saying how the world would be different, how the world would be different if these things had not happened. So the question is, how would the world be different today?
Not sound. Not sound.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, so my question is, did you hear the instructions?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Can I
Okay. So
can I
yeah.
start?
Yeah. Go ahead.
If Hitler hadn't become the leader of the Germany, the Second World War wouldn't have started. Maybe.
Okay. All right. It's possible that the Second World War wouldn't have started. Good. Okay. Would anyone else like to make a sentence with this? What would have happened if Hitler hadn't become leader of Germany? Or you can choose a different one. I just want to hear some third conditional sentences in use. And you know what? Let's actually just go through them. So for number 1, so Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, right? Obviously a hugely important event. So tell me, I want to hear a couple ways that you think the world would be different if this hadn't happened.
If Hitler had been
For number 1, for the telephone.
number one,
Mm-hmm.
if Hitler becomes leader, yeah.
No, sorry, I meant sentence number 1, using the third conditional. But for sentence number 1, Bell invented the telephone. So we're looking in the verbling box. I wrote down these sentences.
If Bill,
I'll post them in the chat box too. Okay. So for sentence number 1, Bell invented the telephone. My question is, how would the world be different today if this hadn't happened?
teacher, if Bill invents the telephone,
Third conditional. Third conditional.
first,
Third. Always conditional 3.
free. Okay. If Bill had invented
Yeah, so
the telephone,
hadn't invented
we would have telephone now, yeah.
We wouldn't have
Wouldn't telephone now.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's difficult, but good job. So here, we have the third conditional. If Bell hadn't invented the telephone, we wouldn't have telephones now. Okay, how else would the world be different if Bell hadn't invented the telephone? Someone else give me a third conditional sentence
Teacher,
about this.
the communications wouldn't have been so easy. Wouldn't have been so easy if Bell hadn't invented the telephone.
Good. So communication wouldn't have been so easy if Bell hadn't invented the telephone. Perfect. Okay, does everyone see how we're doing this? So for all of these, we're using the third conditional because these are all very real events in the past. Okay, all 7 of these events are real, but we're imagining how the world would be different if the past had been different. All right. So, number 2, Columbus discovered America. I want to hear some third conditional sentences on how the world would be different if this hadn't happened.
If Columbus hadn't discovered America, there wouldn't have been a country named United States of America today.
Great. Okay. So if Columbus hadn't discovered America, there wouldn't have been a country named United States of America. Perfect. Very good use of the third conditional. Okay, another idea.
Okay. If
Okay.
if Columbus hadn't discovered America, the map would have been different.
Good. Great. The map would have been, right? The map would have been different. Okay. Let's look at sentence number 4. We did 3. So number 4, the World Trade Center was destroyed.
Was destroyed.
This one is difficult because it's passive.
Yeah. Can I do?
Yeah.
If the World Trade Center hadn't been destroyed,
Excellent. Very good.
there wouldn't have been wars in against Iraq, maybe.
Okay. Good.
World Trade, if I remember right. I don't know.
Afghanistan, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, good. Yeah, so really great. So here you can see, right, so I'll read the sentence again. If the World Trade Center hadn't been destroyed, so on top of being a third conditional, it's in the passive voice because we're not stating who is doing the destroying. There wouldn't have been wars against Iraq. Okay, very good, Hussein. Okay. Let's look at number 6. Leonardo da Vinci was born. How would things be different if he hadn't been born?
I going to try.
Go ahead.
If hadn't born Leonardo
Hadn't been born.
Leonardo da Vinci, we wouldn't to see his pictures. Yeah.
Okay, so this is your sentence. It was, if Leonardo da Vinci hadn't been born, we wouldn't to see his pictures.
Yes.
Okay, so there's one problem with this sentence, and it's in the main clause. The if clause is good. In the main clause, we have a problem. What is it?
In class problem, yes.
In the main clause.
In the main class.
So we
in the main class. Okay.
Pictures. There's a problem here.
Wouldn't to see.
Anyone?
Maybe wouldn't. No.
We wouldn't have seen.
To use wouldn't plus have plus the past participle. So almost correct, but it has to be we wouldn't have seen his pictures.
Wouldn't have seen his pictures.
Okay.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult. It's okay. It's very difficult. Okay, yeah, so it's just a matter of practicing and practicing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good, Vitaly. Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, other ideas for this one. Let's practice another sentence about what would happen if Leonardo da Vinci hadn't been born.
Yes, teacher. Fine arts would have missed the lot if Leonardo da Vinci hadn't been born.
Yeah. Okay, good. So fine arts would have missed a lot. It would have missed out on is better. Missed out on a lot if Leonardo da Vinci hadn't been born. Good. Okay, and let's do the last one. What would happen, or what would be different if number 7 hadn't happened?
If John, I will just use his name. If John hadn't invented the TV, we wouldn't have been able to watch World Cup this year.
Excellent. A very timely example. Very good. Very good, Ahmad. We wouldn't have been able to watch the World Cup.
Okay, the World Cup.
Okay. How else would the world be different if he hadn't invented the TV?
If John hadn't invented the TV, the woman wouldn't have watched soap operas.
Okay. TV, women.
True.
A little bit sexist, but that's okay. All right. Let's get one more. Okay. Yeah, let's get one more with this one. If the TV hadn't been invented.
Okay, you say if John hadn't invented the TV, we wouldn't have had a lovely piece in our living room, for example.
Okay, yeah, a lovely piece of furniture.
A furniture, yes, in our living room.
Great, good.
Can I say?
Yeah, go ahead.
If I had a lot money, I would have bought a new car.
Okay, good. So another example. If I had had a lot of money, I would have bought a new car.
A new car.
Okay, and so in this case, good. So that's an example you made up. Very good. So here, you're saying that you're imagining a time in the past, like last year, when you wanted to buy a car, but you couldn't, and you're saying if things had been different, I would have bought a car, but I couldn't. Okay.
Okay.
So we're running out of time. Do you have any more questions or things you want to clarify? I know it's been a lot of grammar, and I appreciate you sticking with the class.
If I hadn't attended this class, I wouldn't have differentiated between the different conditionals.
Okay, I appreciate that. Excellent. Okay.
Today was excellent.
Very good. So,
excited.
Good. If I hadn't attended this class, I wouldn't have been able to distinguish.
Just speaker. We couldn't to listen for speaker.
What's that?
It's a problem. It's problem with your speaker.
Speaker is a problem. Okay, sorry about that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think when you type, we can't hear you, I think.
Oh, really?
This is something, this is something with Google Hangout, I think.
Okay, all right. So I'll make sure that I type and speak at different times. Thank you. That's very helpful feedback. Very helpful. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Everyone have a good one.
Thank you.
I'll see you next
Thank
time.
you.
Okay?
See you next time.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.